Namaskaram. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. On behalf of Krishnamacharya Yoga Mantra, I'm delighted to welcome each of you to come along with me on a month-long sadhana, a yajna that we undertake as personal tapas in this very special, auspicious month of Mārgaśirṣa. Let me start with the invocation and then I shall move on. Shri Krishnavagīshayatishwarabhyam Samprapta Chakrankana Bhashya Saram Shri Nutnarangendra Yatau Samarpitaswam Shri Krishnamaryam Guruvaryamide Virodhe Kartike Mase Shatatara Kritodayam Yogacharyam Krishnamaryam Guruvaryamaham Bhaje Krishna Suri Daya Patram Jnana Bhushanam Srimat Venkatanathāryam Vandeham Yoga Deshikam Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. You might ask, why a month-long program and why this month? There are many reasons. The first and the foremost among them is Bhagavan Shri Krishna, who identifies himself with the month of Mārgaśirṣa. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse 35. Brihatsama tatha samnam Gayatri chandasamaham masanam Mārgaśirṣoham ritunam kusumakaraha. Chapter 10 is one of the most beautiful, most evocative chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. Vibhuti Yoga. There is much that is glorious in this universe. All of creation is glorious. And among creation, Krishna identifies himself as that which is most glorious among all that is glorious, among all that is beautiful, among all that is splendorous. He says, I am the best of this. And in that series of verses that speak to Krishna's vibhuti, to the very, very palpable presence of the divine in our mundane existence, he says, among the Sama mantras, I am Brihat Sama. Among the meters, among the Vedic meters, I am Gayatri. Among the months, I am Mārgaśirṣa. And among the seasons, I am spring. Brihat Sama is considered the foremost among the Sama mantras. Among the Vedic lore, the recitation of Sama is considered to be the highest because this is a musical outpouring. In the experience of the Brahman, typically we see that Veda and Vedanta, all our Shastras point to an essential need for us as humans to experience the magnificence of the Brihat, of the total, of the cosmos, here and now in our tiny, limited, seemingly limited existences as we walk this earth in our humanly forms. And so, what better way can there be to express that delight, the ananda of experiencing the truth that lies within us than by breaking out into music? And the Sama represents the pinnacle of such inner adhyatmic experiences. Krishna says, I am Brihat Sama. Among the Samas, I am that Brihat Sama. Among the Chandas, among the Vedic meters, there are several Chandas, which are, you could say, Chandas broadly is prosody or the science of Vedic meters, the rhythm of the Vedic mantras. Of them, Gayatri is considered foremost. Gayatri is Chandasam Mata, the foremost, the mother. She births all the other Chandas. The Gayatri Chandas is a very specific structure comprising 3 sets, 3 lines, each line comprising 8 syllables, coming to a total of 24 aksharas. This Chandas is known as the Gayatri Chandas and is very, very aptly demonstrated in a mantra that is very well known, popular across the world as the Gayatri Mantra. We will explore more about this mantra as I move on today. Among the months, I am Mārgaśirṣa. Specifically, In the Roman calendar that we follow, from mid-December to mid-January would correspond to the Hindu calendar month of Mārgaśirṣa. And Krishna identifies himself with this month. We will see why. And among the seasons, he says, I am spring and Kusumakara, the season that heralds the blossoming of flowers, because the blossoming of flowers represent hope and a shift from the dark, dreary, gloomy, cold days of winter as we see them off. And spring heralds the advent of hope and of new light. And Krishna identifies himself as Kusumakara, spring. Specifically, this month, why Mārgaśirṣa is important, we see that there is a tradition in the various sampradayas. All the sampradayas are rooted in one specific worldview, you could say, that as humans, we are here for a purpose. This is what the Purushartha, the Chaturvida Purushartha tells us, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, that we are here earthbound because of our karma, human in form, in order to achieve a certain purpose. Now, Artha and Kama are important Purusharthas, no doubt. We are here to live well, but to live as guardians, as caretakers of nature's bounty, to live within the framework of dharma, of what is appropriate, so that there is an alignment between the inner and the outer worlds. And as we walk this path of dharma, we are entitled to earn a rightful living and to spend, again, dharmically on what fulfills us, what fills our heart with joys. Nothing is forbidden in this very beautiful tradition. Everything has a place, everything has a purpose, and we are here to live and to live well. In Tamil, there is a very beautiful saying, Kondum Koduttum Vazhvathu Vazhkai. Life is about both giving and receiving. And in this, we come to a fulfillment of our purpose. But as we navigate the pathways of life, whoever we are, wherever we are, one eye is also set on what lies beyond, because we are essentially divine beings. The Shvetashvatara says, Amritasya Putra, there's a very beautiful statement, I think chapter 2, verse 5 of the Shvetashvatara, which says, we are Amritasya Putra, we are children of eternity, the children of delight. And we are here to experience that delight, not in the ordinary, transitory, mundane existence that we fashion for ourselves, but in a delight in the magnificence that underpins the mundaneness of our life. And all life has to therefore be a seeking, that as we seek outwardly, we also have to direct our attention inwards to a realization of the truth that is within. It is this that the Yoga Sutra presents so boldly, so emphatically as Ritambhara Prajna, chapter 148. Patanjali tells us that as we move towards deeper and deeper states of samadhi, the mind is filled with an understanding of the absolute truth, and there is an alignment of personal truth with that absolute truth. And this marks the journey of every sadhaka, of every spiritual seeker, to move from, not to deny the mundane, not to deny the existence of life and life processes, to live and to live well, but as we do so, to live dharmically, to live in alignment with nature, so that there is always a resonance. The more and more we are in synchronicity with the rhythms of nature, we find ourselves to be in alignment with the processes of the cosmos as a whole. The more we separate ourselves, the more we see ourselves as separate from nature at large, the more there is dissonance, the more there is noise, the more confusion, and the more our struggles. And these are the realities that we face. In such a context, we see that the year itself is divided into two. And so the latter part of the Roman calendar year, roughly from July to December, is known as Sadhana Pada, a time for sadhana, a time for effort, a time for directed spiritual inquiry and an ardent seeking of that higher truth. The months, the first half of the calendar year, from January up till June, is known as Kaivalya Pada, a time to celebrate the outcomes, the fruits of our efforts. And when we look at the festivals, the various utsavas that are celebrated or observed across the country, across India, in these times, you see that from July to December, the utsavas revolve around introspection on the movement from the darkness of our own ignorance, of the clouding of our mind. We are seeking something higher. So you have the onset of Ashada. You have the Guru Purnima, is one of the most important months, that is an anchor that celebrates the entire Guru Parampara. Moving on towards Janmashtami, Krishna Jayanti, you have Vinayaka Chaturthi, you have the Navaratri, you have the Pitrupaksha, you have Deepavali, all of them. And then you have Kartika, the time where we move from darkness into light. While in our calendar year, you see that there is a shift towards darkness, towards winter. In our spiritual journey, there is a movement seeking light, and all the festivals are oriented towards this seeking, towards an active seeking. Towards the first part of the year, you see an exuberance, you see celebration of the outcome of those efforts, and you see it in the very early part of the year across India, where every state celebrates the bountiful harvest, offering gratitude to the earth, to the elements, and specifically to the sun who governs all of these processes, bringing us not just light, heat, and warmth, but facilitating abundance of growth of plants, of crops on earth, without which no life can sustain. And therefore, Mārgaśirṣa appears towards the very end of the sadhana pada, and the end of Mārgaśirṣa marks the beginning of the Kaivalya pada, which is when in Tamil we say Thai Porandal Vali Pirakkum, that as the month of January 15th to February 15th is considered a very auspicious time for growth, for prosperity, for all new endeavors to take root and to blossom. It is also for this reason that there is a convention that in the period of Mārgaśirṣa, this is a time earmarked for sadhana, so much so that other events such as marriages are not fixed up, whereas marriages are scheduled after Mārgaśirṣa, as seen as a conclusion, or you could say a coming full circle of our efforts, and then marking a journey of abundance, of growth, of prosperity and plenty. And so many couples step into matrimony at this point of time after Mārgaśirṣa, again symbolizing this. If you look at it from a more astronomical perspective, you see that the latter part of the calendar year is known as the Dakshinayana, where the sun's journey, the sun's trajectory is southward, whereas from the middle of January, seen as Sankranti, Makara Sankranti, where the sun transitions into the Makara Rasi, you see that the sun's trajectory is towards the Uttarayana. And so we will explore much more about Mārgaśirṣa, the significance of this month. There is so much for us to discuss. This is the time that Andal glorifies Sri Ranganatha. And so we see the Pasurams of Andal, we see Manika Vasagar's Tiruvempavai. Also, we will explore the other festivities, other practices that are a part of this month. And so this is a month that is earmarked for sadhana. And we begin our foray into this month-long sadhana with a practice focusing on the Gayatri Mantra. Why the Gayatri? Because as I said, Krishna identifies himself with the Gayatri Chandas. Which mantra is the foremost that represents the Gayatri Chandas is the Gayatri Mantra. Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yona Prachodayat. As I said, the meter is known as the Gayatri. So 8 syllables to a line. Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yona Prachodayat. So you have sets of 8, 3 sets of 8 making 24. This is the Gayatri Chandas. The Gayatri Mantra is actually known as the Savitri because the deity of the mantra is Savitri. Because of the Chandas, it comes to be known as the Gayatri Mantra, but conventionally this is the Savitri Mantra addressed to Savita or Savitri as the Devata. Krishna identifies himself with the Gayatri Chandas. Specifically today, I'd like to keep our practice focusing on this because the Savitri Devata represents our journey towards seeking clarity. Savita, at a very, very external level, is the solar orb. It is the light of the solar orb, the sun that sustains life. This is at an Adi Bhautika level. At an Adi Daivika level, this is the Surya Devata, Aditya Devata, who inspires our intellect, who inspires us to fight against the tamas that clouds our mind and drives us on the path of a spiritual seeking. At an Adhyatmika level, Savitri points to the indwelling inspirer, the light of the Atma that is within, without which no life is possible. And therefore, the Gayatri Mantra itself becomes one of the most potent gifts that we have received from Maharishi Vishwamitra. In fact, his revelation, the Gayatri Mantra is revealed to Vishwamitra at that moment when he absolutely sublimates his ego, falls at the feet of his teacher, of his preceptor Vasishta. The moment that his fingers touch the toe of Vasishta is when the Savitri Mantra flashes as a revelation in Vishwamitra's mind. He is the Rishi who has given us this remarkable mantra, a mantra that has commentary after commentary after commentary, and is a mantra that has been greatly praised by all the acharyas of all the sampradayas. Why? Let us explore this through a story before I lead you into a practice. According to the Rig Veda, there were a group of asuras. They were known as the Mandeha asuras, who inhabited an island called Mandeha. Every morning at the time of the sun's rising, they would arise in a horde. They would charge forth in a horde and block out collectively the light of the sun, incapacitating all other life on earth. Hapless, the sages and the devas go to Brahma seeking a solution, because in the absence of the light of the sun, how can life thrive? How can life survive? Brahma gives them a yukti and says, use the Gayatri Mantra. He initiates them into the Gayatri Mantra and says, hold water, cup your palms, fill the palms with water. As you hold your palms filled with water, recite the Gayatri Mantra and offer argyam, offer this water towards the direction that the sun rises. And the devas and rishis faithfully follow this. As they offer the argyam along with the Gayatri Mantra, every drop of water transforms into an arrow, and this a huge collective of arrows penetrates this dark cloud created by the asuras, driving them back to their island, dispelling the darkness, allowing the light of the sun to shine again. Now, at a surface level, this is just a story, a very beautiful story, but yet another of the same lore that we see of the asuras and the devas in perennial conflict. But what is important is the allegorical representation of the story, where the asuras represent the deha. The island itself is our own body. Manadeha is this body where we have the mind and the body. And it is here that we are earthbound. We are dependent on the light of the sun. But it is our own inner asuras that cloud us, that obscure us, obscure the mind from perceiving the magnificence that lies within, the truth of the Brahman, of the Paramatma that lies within. And we are clouded, we are asleep. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, the yogi is awake to what we are asleep to, and is asleep to what we are awake to. In the very materiality of our existence, we seek immediate gratification from objects, from persons, from places, from people. But all of this is trivial, here today, gone tomorrow. But we form lasting alliances with these, believing them to be permanent, creating attachments. And from that attachment cycle, we see kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. These are the clouds that hide us, that obscure the light of the Atma within. And it is us, the mind, as the mind can be our own enemy, the mind can also be our most powerful ally. And therefore, the role of sadhana in overpowering the darkness that clouds us, that deludes us, and therefore the Gayatri Mantra as one of the most potent upayas to dispel the darkness of tamas and rajas that are created by us in our own minds, by our engagement through the senses with these objects that we seek, that we constantly seek to fill ourselves with, to gratify ourselves with. And it is the Gayatri Mantra that can come to our aid in times of distress, in times of conflict, in times of we live in times that are very, very filled with conflict, with great challenge. And the Gayatri Mantra can act as a very potent resource to help us develop courage, clarity, conviction, compassion, and bring this to the fore in all our engagements, personally, officially, and with the world at large. And so, for our practice today, I will keep my focus on the Gayatri Mantra, linking also the Sapta Vyahriti Om Bhuhu, Om Bhuvaha, Om Suvaha, Om Mahaha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam. These are the sounds which are believed to have manifest the universes that are lit up by the light of the sun. But at an Adhyatmika level, these universes exist inside of us, and our journey is from the earthbound existence at the Mooladhara to the light of the sun that shines at the very top in our Sahasrara. So we will use the Saptavyahirati along with the Gayatri Mantra as part of our meditative practice today, specifically focusing on a japa. Let us start off with the japa, because what is very important in sadhana is chitta shuddhi. And the Gayatri Mantra, known as the Savitri, as I said, she's called the Gayatri because of the Chandas, and also because the mantra takes the form of a Devi, of a goddess, who is also called Gayatri. But the mantra per se is known as the Savitri. And so we will use this as our anchor today, because japa becomes an essential, integral aspect of sadhana. Because all sadhana is directed first at chitta shuddhi. First, there has to be elimination of whatever clouds our heart, whatever prevents us from thinking with clarity. And from chitta shuddhi, we move towards higher and higher states of realization and then transcendence. And therefore, the japa as a thought unit becomes a very important way of disciplining the mind, of aligning, you could say that, of contouring the mind towards one specific focus so that our attention does not waver. And so for this today, let us start off this month-long sadhana using the Gayatri Mantra. I request you to please take a comfortable seated position. Keep your back straight, eyes closed, chin down. You're welcome to sit on a chair. If you do so, please make sure your feet are firmly placed on the floor in front of you. Just take a few breaths, eyes closed. Deep breath in, expand your chest. As you breathe out, gently pull in your lower abdomen. Breathe out, relaxing your chest. Please do this a few times as you allow your mind to settle and your thoughts to focus on your breath. Now, we will use the Sapta Vyahriti. I'd like you to bring your attention to specific points along the spine as we do so. On your inhale, I will chant. As you exhale, repeat the chant. We are focusing on the specific points of the chakras. The Meru Dandas, the central spine, is, you could say, comparable to Meru, that represents axis mundi, the central pivotal point of the universe, but it is not outside, it is inside of us. And so the bottommost chakra is the Mooladhara. This is right at the base of the spine, neither to the front nor to the back. Just imagine it as a midline structure and just bring your attention right to the Mooladhara, which is the base of the spine. I will chant as you inhale. Just breathe in, and as you breathe out, repeat what I chant. In your mind, visualize directing prana to the Mooladhara. Just simply direct your prana to the Mooladhara and visualize as you breathe in and chant that region being cleansed, being nourished, being strengthened. Inhale. Om Bho. Chant as you exhale. Om Bho. Again, inhale. Om Bho. Exhale, chant. Om Bho. Inhale. Om Bho. Exhale. Om Bho. Shift your attention just below your navel. This is the region of the Swadhisthana, above the perineum, below the navel. Inhale. The visualization remains the same. Inhale. Om Bhuvaha. Om Bhuvaha. Inhale. Om Bhuvaha. Om Bhuvaha. Inhale. Om Bhuvaha. Om Bhuvaha. Focus now on the region of the Manipuraka, exactly at the navel, the region around the navel. Inhale. Om Suvaha. Om Suvaha. Inhale. Om Suvaha. Om Suvaha. Om Suvaha. Om Suvaha. Shift your attention to the region of the chest. This is the Anahata. Inhale. Om Mahaha. Om Mahaha. Inhale. Om Mahaha. Om Mahaha. Inhale. Om Mahaha. Om Mahaha. Focus now on the region of the Vishuddhi, at the cave of your throat. Inhale. Om Janaha. Om Janaha. Om Janaha. Om Janaha. Om Janaha. Om Janaha. Focus now on the midpoint between your eyebrows. This is the Agnya Chakra. Om Tapaha. Om Tapaha. Om tapaha. Om tapaha. Om tapaha. Om tapaha. Focus now on the crown of your head, right at the top of your head. Breathe in. Ogum Satyam. Exhale. Ogum Satyam. Inhale. Ogum Satyam. Exhale. Ogum Satyam. Inhale. Ogum Satyam. Ogum Satyam. These are the 7 universes outside, the 7 realms of existence, the 7 realms of consciousness that are also manifest inside of us. As above, so below, as without, so within. Illumining all these universes is the sun outside. Illumining our inner universe is the light of the Atma, of Paramatma, of Ishvara within. We move on now to Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama. As the name implies, Nadi Shuddhi, that which is capable of purifying the entire network of nadis to prevent the obstruction to the free, unhindered flow of prana. Prana Chalanam contributes to a movement towards Chitta Vritti Nirodha. The more we stabilize, harmonize the flow of prana within us, the more we are capable of stilling the constant waves of thought in our mind. Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama done with the Mrigi Mudra. You hold your thumb to one side, the ring finger and the little finger held together, placed on the other side, placed exactly at the bridge of the nose. Back straight, chin down, eyes closed. You breathe in through the partially closed left nostril. Take a deep breath in. And then breathe out through the partially closed right nostril. Breathe in through the partially closed right nostril. Breathe out through the partially closed left nostril. When I say partially closed, I mean that the other nostril is completely closed and the one that you're breathing through, in or out, is half closed. You just press the ring finger and the little finger slightly to create a little bit of pressure. This is Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama. We will do it as Samantraka Pranayama. I will be chanting the Gayatri Mantra along with Om Bhur Bhuvassuvaha, so that there are 4 parts to the 4 parts of your breath. Inhale. When you finish inhaling, pause. Exhale. Pause again. Inhale left, pause. Exhale right. So inhale left, exhale right, inhale right, exhale left. You do not need to chant, but you will chant in your mind as I chant the Gayatri Mantra aloud. Bring your attention to the mantra. Keep your focus on the flow of the breath. Visualize as you breathe in and out the entire network of nadis being cleansed by the power of this mantra that rides on the vehicle of your breath. We'll do this for a few repetitions. Inhale left. Om Bhur Bhuvassuvaha. Pause. Exhale right. Tat Savidurvarenyam. Pause. Inhale right. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Pause. Exhale left. Dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. We continue the same way. I will only chant, I will not give you instructions. Om Bhur Bhuvasuvaha Tat Savidurvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasuvaha Tat Savidurvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. Om Bhuvasuvaha Tat Savidurvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. Now for the next 2 repetitions, hold your breath. Inhale for the first line of the Gayatri Mantra. Hold for the next. Exhale for the third. Hold again for the fourth. We repeat the cycle on the reverse. Inhale, hold, exhale. Inhale. Om Bhur Bhuvasuvaha. Hold your breath. Tat Savidurvarenyam. Exhale right. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Hold. Dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. Inhale left. Om Bhur Bhuvasuvaha. Hold. Tat Savidurvarenyam. Exhale right. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Hold. Dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. Apologies, that was exhale left. We finished one round. We do one more round. Inhale left, exhale right, exhale left. Inhale. Om Bhur Bhuvasuvaha. Hold. Tat Savidurvarenyam. Exhale. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Hold. Dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. Inhale right. Om Bhur Bhuvasuvaha. Hold. Tat Savidurvarenyam. Exhale left. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Hold. Dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. Lower your hand, just take a few breaths. I'd like you to just hold this visual for a minute. The sun shining above you, spreading its light, illumining the universe. A tiny sun inside of you, shining brightly, enlivening you, empowering you, making you all that you are, making you function, making you alive. Visualize a line of light connecting the outer sun and the inner sun. They are no different. As the Chandogya Upanishad says, Tat Tvamasi, that light that illumines the sun is the light that illumines the cave of your heart. Hold this connection. Savitra above and Savitra within. Just keep this connection alive in your mind as a visual. I will be chanting the Gayatri Mantra 9 times, thrice loudly, thrice softly, and the last 3 times mentally in silence. If you can, chant along. If not, just listen, but hold this connection of the sun above and the sun within. Visualize that light flooding into your very being, rejuvenating, energizing, enlivening. Om Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Hold this connection in your mind's eye as you draw this light from above within to rekindle the light that is within us. That Savitur Varenyam, that Savita is indeed praiseworthy. Bhargaha, Devasya Dhimahi, Devasya Bhargaha Dhimahi. We meditate upon that effulgent one who illumines the realms of the Devas. Dhyaha, Yaha, Naha, Prachodayat. Yaha, Naha, Dhyaha, Prachodayat. The one who kindles the light of the buddhi within. Express your gratitude to this truth that shines through, that illumines our lives, driving us towards our purpose. And reaffirm your commitment towards this sadhana in seeking of the light of truth within. Yadaksharapadabhrashtam matrahinam tu yad bhavet tatsarvam kshamyatam deva narayana namostute Srimate Narayanaya Namo Namaha Kayena Vacha Manasendriyairva Buddhyatmana Va Prakrite Swabhavat Karomi Adyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanaeti Samarpayami Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Thank you for joining me today. Until we meet again tomorrow, day 2 of Mārgaśirṣa. Namaskar.